Hey everybody, it's Wednesday, and you know what that means? That means I'm on YouTube, and I'm on the website. And the website, if you haven't checked out, is katimorton.com. And you're going to want to get on there, because my self-harm workbook is coming out. And it would have already come out, but goddamn that website. I've been fighting with it, because I can't quite get it to work so that the workbook's on there, and you can download it easily, and it's not all glitchy and weird. So bear with me. I know you're waiting, and I'm trying really hard, I promise. Okay, now this is the second time doing this video because the first time it was like 14 minutes long. And I was like, Jesus Christos, I cannot put that out. So I'm going to speed this up. Let's get this information out. I have 4 questions. And I have a joke at the end instead of anything else, because I think, and a quote actually. So I'm going to try to get through this quickly. Okay? Question number 1. Say, here's my question. Realizing that the best way to see a therapist is in person. Yes, you're right. If for some reason you can't, how do you feel about participating in therapy via Skype or some other similar online services? I know of one therapist who does this. Are you aware of others? How might one find a therapist who does this? So I personally have given this a lot of thought since I've created this community, and everybody's been asking, once you're licensed, are you going to do this and blah, blah. And to be truthful, there's a lot that we miss just doing this kind of talking, because I'm missing like 90% of my body if I'm fidgeting, if I'm moving and I'm uncomfortable in my chair. We can miss a lot of that and a lot of the subtleties that are created when you meet someone face to face. So I personally will not do it for the whole relationship with my clients. However, I do it with my clients who have gone to college, because I've already been seeing them for years, and I'll see them when they get back, or in the interim, it holds them over. Or if they need an emergency session or something like that, I'm more than happy to oblige and do a Skype session with them that way. There are many online services. I would Google it. I would look it up. And they let you pay through credit card. Using that service, they put you in contact with the therapist. You have scheduled times, all online, reminders, all the whole gamut. And they're wonderful. If that works for you and that works for that therapist, then that is perfect. The only thing I would caution you is before you sign up, before you pay anything, check the therapist they select for you. Make sure they have a license. Make sure they don't have any, things on their record, no complaints, or their license wasn't held for a certain amount of time and they weren't without a license or whatever, because I don't want to be getting swindled. And it's an easy thing to check. You can check in California, it's bbs.ca.gov. And you can look up a therapist, you can find out that I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist intern. And it's something that you have the right to as a consumer, to make sure that the person that you're seeing is licensed and a real professional. Okay? Question number 2. Is it possible to ever have a relationship with a family member who has sexually abused you in the past? And the second part of this is, I had repressed memories, but now I have very intrusive thoughts and flashbacks. I recently told my therapist about them, but if she mentions it at all, I shut down because I feel like I'm betraying my family. So the first portion, is it possible to have a relationship with a family member? Yes, it definitely is. I have some clients who have successfully healed and they feel fine about it. To be honest, though, majority of my clients are like, no, I'd rather gorge their eyeballs out with a spoon or something because I hate them so much because of what they've done to me. It's all about your process. Make sure that you've taken time to heal. You've taken time to feel recovered and feel safe in yourself, and it's a choice you make to have a relationship with them. I want it to be on your terms, not their terms. So that's the first caveat with that. As far as feeling like you're betraying your family, that's very common. Oftentimes families hold these secrets, and it's something that makes us feel like this is the only way our family can survive, because if this gets out, then the family's going to break up and so won't talk to so-and-so. But the truth is, the secret that they're holding is your secret to hold. It's not theirs. This happened to you. This hurt you. This is something that you have to deal with. And I would encourage you to do what's best for you. Now, it will take time, and I know it's hard when we feel like we're betraying our family, but as you talk about it more, that guilt feeling that you have will slowly go away. And take it at your own pace. If you start to shut down, let your therapist know when you go in next time, hey, when we talk about things, sometimes I shut down, I'm working on it, and you can work together on ways to get through it and push through it. Okay? Question number 3. You seem to have been talking about dissociations being positive in your previous videos, i.e. being the girl with the French bulldog. Yes, I did. But what happens when the dissociations are negative or scary? One of my most common dissociations is to see my abuser choking, strangling, or otherwise harming people that I care about, like my pastor, my therapist, etc. Any idea why negative or scary dissociations like this occur, or is it just part of the spectrum? What can I do to challenge them? Now, yes, I did paint dissociations as a positive thing, but they aren't always positive. It's just a way for our brain to remove us from a stressful or traumatic situation and give us like either nothing to think about, or if we're doing maladaptive daydreaming, it's something else to think about. Now, maladaptive daydreaming is more positive. That's where we create a whole nother world that we can kind of daydream and live in. People who have other alters, if you actually have the higher end of the spectrum of DID, when you have other alters, other personalities, that would be a totally different thing from this. That's on that end of the spectrum. What you're talking about is having dissociations that are more negative, and oftentimes it's difficult for us to distinguish what's a flashback and what's a dissociation, because flashbacks can bring us back to that time and they can feel like we're dissociating, but it's almost like we're reliving our trauma, but there's someone else in place of us. And that can happen. And that's more of a flashback. I would start to notice, first of all, I talk with your therapist about it, but the best thing to do is usually to notice what happens before. If you have any way to note that feeling, like the flashback or the dissociation is coming, oftentimes I find in my clients, when we start talking about this and I start trying to take them back before it happened, they'll talk about these like intrusive thoughts, or that they'll have something that reminds them of it, and they'll go back from that piece of whatever it was, or that smell, and they'll go boom, 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 and they'll go into it like, okay, and that happened, and then I remember when this was happening, and I was really scared, and boom, and then they're gone. And so I would start to notice things that are triggering, or notice the thoughts that come in. And thought blocking doesn't work with this. You can't just like, oh, I don't want to think about that. I want you to work with your therapist through it so you notice the triggers, so that you're better prepared to talk yourself out of it. Because we have to acknowledge the thought, and then we have to talk ourselves out of it. So I would talk with your therapist. That's the best way to challenge them, is say, like having a mantra. A lot of my clients' things that work is like, that person's not here right now. He can't hurt me. He's not even around, or he's in jail, or, I'm 1,000 miles away from them, or they don't live here anymore, or whatever it is. They're not around. They can't hurt me. They're not around. They can't hurt me. Whatever you can say to help bring yourself back. Okay, I hope that helps a little bit. And if any of you have any tips and tricks of things that keep you from dissociating, or from you going into a flashback, let us know. Let's help one another, right? Okay, question number 4, and I'm trying to cruise along here before this gets ridiculously long. My boyfriend was unfaithful to me and wants us to go to couples counseling. I feel he should go to his own therapy first, since I was the faithful one. What are your thoughts? Individual therapy before couples therapy? Also, should I end our relationship when there's still so much friendship there? Great question. And I get a lot of questions about relationships. Now, as far as individual versus couples, you should have both. You should each have your individual therapist and then have couples, because you each need time to work out your stuff about this, because he's probably apologized and he hasn't done it since, and he feels like he keeps getting blamed for it. He needs a place to vent about that. And then you are feeling really betrayed and really hurt, and you're like, but you want him to undo it, and he can't. And so you need time to process that. And then you need to take both of your issues that you're struggling with, and you talk about how they affect your relationship, because that takes time, right? So I would encourage you to do that, because yes, he was the unfaithful one, and yes, I know what you're talking about, like him, does he need therapy, or should you go together? But you both should, and you should both go together, okay? As far as whether we break up or not, this is a personal, you need to take time. This is a personal thing. I can say personally, I've been cheated on, and I couldn't get over it, and I broke up with that asshole, and I kick him to the curb. No, I'm just joking, but it was really hard. And what I learned about myself is that's not something I can tolerate. I can't get past that. I can't let it go, because I'll never trust him again, and it'll always be there, just nagging. But some people can. Like, I've had clients who their husbands or their wives have been unfaithful many times, and they're able to heal it and work on it, and they still come into therapy, obviously, and they have their little gripes, and it's like any relationship, but they're able to move past it. So it's something you need to take time for yourself to sit down and think, can I move past it? Is it okay for me, or am I always going to bring it up, and every time we fight, I'm going to go from like 0 to 60 about it and be like, but you're a lying, cheating asshole, because you can't do that either. That's not fair to him. So you have to figure out what's best for you and what's best for your relationship. And if you can't get over it, then I think you probably should leave. But if you can, then I would go to counseling, I'd work on it, and I'd heal that wound, and I would move forward. Okay? I know that's a lot, but I'm trying to make this short because last time it was really long. Okay, now, I'm going to skip the joke, and I'm going to go for the quote. It rhymes. Okay, food is not your friend, and it's not your enemy. It's just fuel. Remember that. And one of my followers shared that, so thank you so much. I want you to think about it. Write it down. And if eating disorders aren't your thing, if you're not struggling with that, then how have you fueled yourself today? What is it that fuels you? And how can you do more of it? Okay? I love you all. I will see you tomorrow. I'll be on Twitter, so ask your questions. And I'm going to Mammoth this weekend, so Friday, Facebook Friday, will be shot from Mammoth. Okay? I love you all. See you then. Bye.